You know that feeling when you're using an AI and it just gets you? It feels like it understands what you want. Well, that's not magic. It's a really clever technique called RLHF. And today, we're going to break down exactly how that secret sauce is made.
Okay, so here's the core problem, right? You have an AI that has basically swallowed the entire internet. I mean, everything. All the good stuff, all the bad stuff, every crazy argument. How in the world do you teach that thing to be helpful and not just a chaotic reflection of all that noise? How does it figure out what we actually want?
Well, the answer is a process called reinforcement learning from human feedback. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, so we'll just call it RLHF. Think of it as a sophisticated way to take that incredibly powerful but kind of wild AI and gently guide it, fine-tuning its answers to be much more aligned with what we find useful and safe.
To really get this, don't think about it as just programming. It's much more like teaching. We are trying to instill the very subtle art of human preferences into an algorithm.
Because, look, the end goal here isn't just to make an AI that can write an email for you. The real point is to create an AI that generates responses we, as humans, genuinely find helpful, that avoids saying harmful things, and that just generally behaves in a way we find desirable and trustworthy.
The good news is, this whole complex process really just boils down to 3 key ingredients. Let's take a look at them one by one.
Yep, just 3. So let's dive into the first one. First up, ingredient number 1, the base model. This is your starting point, your raw material. It's a huge language model that's already been trained on that colossal mountain of internet text. So it knows grammar, it knows facts, it knows how to write. It's incredibly powerful, but it's also raw. It's unrefined.
Ingredient number 2, the prompts. Now you've got this powerful model, you need to poke it a little. See what it does. That's where prompts come in. These are just a bunch of questions and instructions that we use to get the AI to generate a whole range of different answers.
And that brings us to ingredient number 3, which is, without a doubt, the most critical piece of the puzzle, the human feedback. So for any given prompt, the AI might generate a few different responses. Then, real people, actual humans, look at those responses and simply rank them from best to worst. This simple act of choosing, I like this one better, creates the data that defines what good actually looks like from a human perspective.
All right, so we've got all this great ranking data from our human helpers. But obviously, you can't have people sitting around checking every single AI response forever. That's just impossible to scale. So instead, you use all that human preference data to train an automated judge. And this automated judge has a name. It's called the reward model. It's a totally separate, smaller AI. And its one and only job is to learn from all that data our human rankers created. It's literally training to think like them and predict which answers they would prefer.
Let's make this super concrete. Say the prompt is, explain RLHF simply. Response A is a super technical wall of text. Response B is a clear, simple explanation. A human labeler, of course, picks response B as better. That one choice, that single data point, gets fed right into the reward model to teach it what better means.
Now, you repeat that process thousands and thousands of times. After a while, that reward model gets incredibly good at predicting human preferences. It effectively becomes our automated judge. It can look at any new text from the AI and give it a reward score, predicting how a human would rate it, but at a massive automated scale.
So we have our powerful base model, and we have our automated judge, the reward model. Now it's time for the final stage, where the real magic happens. We put them together in the fine-tuning loop. This is where the reinforcement learning really kicks into high gear.
It's a pretty simple but incredibly powerful cycle. Step 1, the main language model generates a response. Step 2, the reward model instantly gives it a score. And step 3, the main model gets that score as feedback, and its internal network is tweaked just a little bit to encourage it to create answers that will get a higher score next time. This loop runs over and over and over again, millions of times.
Now, for those of you who are interested in the technical side, the algorithm that often powers this loop is called proximal policy optimization, or PPO. The main thing you need to know is that it's a very efficient way to make all these tiny, continuous adjustments without totally messing up the model or making it forget all the grammar and facts it already knows. It keeps the whole process stable.
So after all this work, collecting data, training a judge,
Running that fine-tuning loop again and again, what's the point? What's the actual payoff?
The benefits are actually pretty huge. RLHF is amazing at cutting down on harmful or just plain nonsensical responses. It dramatically improves how helpful and safe the AI is. And what you get at the end of the day is an AI that's just way more reliable and useful for all of us.
Really, this entire complex system comes down to one single mission. The ultimate goal is to align the outputs of these large language models with human preferences. That's it. That's the whole game.
So if you take one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. RLHF is the bridge we build to take an AI from just being a fancy word predictor to being a tool that actually tries to reflect our values. It's how we teach it not just what to say, but how to be helpful.
And all of this leaves us with one last really big question. This entire process is built on human preference. But whose preferences? What happens when our values and opinions conflict with each other? As we get better and better at building AI that reflects us, we're going to have to get much clearer on which version of us we want it to reflect.